Welcome! We're here to discuss a truly critical evolution in apiary science. You see, the long-held belief of a single annual treatment for Varroa is, well, it's obsolete. Understanding why this is the case is absolutely essential to the survival of your colonies. If you wish to master this craft, this knowledge isn't just helpful, it's fundamental.
So, let us begin by examining the Varroa mite. We need to stop seeing it as just a simple pest and start understanding it as the agent of a systemic and truly destructive disease.
This condition, Varroosis, is a fundamental attack on the bee's own biology. The mites feed on the bee's vital fat body tissue, not just their blood as we once thought. This compromises their immune system and, crucially, acts as a vector for a whole host of debilitating viruses. Now, these aren't abstract consequences. They translate directly into tangible losses in honey and a severe, often fatal, decline in colony vitality.
This leads us, quite naturally, to the central revelation of modern beekeeping, the profound life-or-death importance of a single, unique generation of bees. Just observe these stark biological differences here. The summer bee, well, she's built for a short, laborious life of intense work and expansion. The winter bee, on the other hand, is a completely different animal. She is purpose-built for longevity, carrying high levels of a protein called Vitellogenin. This is essential for surviving the winter and for nurturing the very first generation of spring bees. And it is this crucial trait that is so dangerously compromised by the viruses these mites carry.
This graph perfectly illustrates the critical race against time that occurs every single autumn. You see, as the queen slows her laying and the bee population naturally declines, the mite population continues its relentless climb. The result is a catastrophic explosion in the mite-to-bee ratio, placing an absolutely unbearable pressure on those very winter bees we were just discussing.
So, having understood the threat and its underlying mechanism, we now turn to the modern scientific framework for managing it. Kind of content you're into, hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to support the channel and keep me inspired to create.
Now, Integrated Pest Management, or IPM, isn't a specific product you can just go out and buy. It is, rather, a strategic philosophy. The whole objective is to use a rational, thoughtful combination of measures to keep that mite population below a scientifically determined danger threshold long before you ever see visible damage in the hive.
And this graphic, this brilliantly illustrates the necessary shift in our thinking. We absolutely must move away from the old, reactive model of treating only after the damage is done. The modern, preventative approach is one of proactive management and constant monitoring, ensuring the threat level itself never becomes critical.
Let us now direct our attention to dismantling some of the common myths that prevent so many beekeepers from adopting this more effective strategy.
The first myth is that counting mites is pointless because you're going to treat anyway. The reality, as this starkly illustrates, is that the variation in mite loads between two hives, even in the same exact yard, can be immense. You see, applying a routine treatment without this knowledge is like flying blind. It might be enough for one hive, but it virtually guarantees failure for the other, more heavily infested one.
The second myth, and it's a dangerous one, is the belief that a September treatment is sufficient. This timeline shows the fatal flaw in that logic. By September, your overwintering bees have already been born and, more importantly, they've already been parasitized. Their essential Vitellogenin reserves are depleted, their lifespans permanently shortened. A late treatment might kill the mites, sure, but it simply cannot save the bees. The damage is already done.
The third myth is assuming a treatment has failed just because you still see mites. The mathematics here are quite clear. A highly effective treatment will produce vastly different results depending on where you started. If you begin with a low mite population, you're left with a manageable number of survivors. But if you begin with an overwhelming population, even a 90% effective treatment leaves behind a residual mite count that is still absolutely lethal.
Finally, let's address two connected misconceptions. First, this idea of a one-and-done treatment is a dangerous fallacy. It's completely invalidated by the constant threat of mite reinfestation from other colonies in your area. And second, it's very tempting to blame winter losses on treatment resistance. Now, while resistance is a genuine concern, the much more common culprit is simply poor timing, that high residual mite load we just talked about, or an improper application of the treatment itself.
This brings us to the core principle of this entire discussion. The crucial point here is to reframe our entire approach to how we manage Varroa.
Your greatest tool as a beekeeper is anticipation.
Success is not found in a single magic bullet treatment. It is found in a season-long strategy designed to keep mite levels low at all times. The singular focus must be to protect the August and September birth window of your winter bees. This, and only this, is the path to consistent overwintering success.
And so, this leaves us with a question for your own reflection. Based on these principles of modern apiary science, what is the single most important change you will implement in your own Varroa strategy this year?
Thank you for your time and your attention. By embracing these principles, you join a growing community of serious practitioners who are dedicated to both the art and the science of beekeeping. I invite you to subscribe to the Homebee Bee channel for more expert guidance.